Hello, it's Daniel from Honora. We're going to listen to Dynamic Thought, Chapter 2, called The Infinite Power Within. The book is written by Henry Thomas Hamblin, and it's from 1923. It's a book about, well, you're going to hear it in a bit. I love this book. It really puts a perspective on the human mind and how we can use it if we want to choose to use it. Let's just get into it and listen to this amazing book.
Chapter 2. The Infinite Power Within. Gaze up into the sky at night and sense the infinite majesty of the universe. Get mentally into touch with those patient stars that flash and twinkle like gems of purest water. Realize that they are suns, situated millions of miles away. Then think of our own little spot in the universe, the solar system. Think of the majestic, magnetic sun, the planets all following certain paths guided by a wonderful system of universal law. Observe the precision of the rising and setting of the sun, the lunar periods, the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tidal sea. Let your mind grasp what all this means. Let it sweep right from the grandest aspect of nature down to the atom itself. And what does it see? A power expressing itself in an infinite variety of ways, in everything and through everything. There is nothing, not a grain, not an atom, not an electron, that does not contain this wondrous power. Man has been described as an epitome of the universe. An atom clairvoyantly observed has been described as a replica of the solar system. Therefore, we have universe within universe, solar system within solar system, and all animated, controlled, and directed by the universal or infinite mind. Therefore, the power that animates man is an infinite power. In man, the infinite mind finds its highest expression on the visible plane. At one time, man was thought to be an animal with a soul. Now he is known to be an indestructible ego with an imperishable mind finding expression in a temporary physical body. The cause of all man's weakness, mistakes and failures has been that he has not realized the power within. Instead, he has thought himself to be separate and friendless, weak and helpless, adrift, without chart or compass upon the sea of life. He has thought himself to be the victim of circumstance, the sport of fate, and the puppet of forces outside himself.
It's actually pretty interesting what he describes here, because the book is written in 1923, but still what he describes is what we experience today still. We still have this idea, or not all of us of course, but a lot of people have this idea that we are insignificant, that it doesn't really matter, that life is we're just here to live life, and then when it's over, everything is over, and it's kind of pointless to go and do something special or cultivate your brain or become someone that you could imagine that you could become, because it's pointless anyway. I know that we go into life with nothing and we go out of life with nothing. That doesn't mean though that there isn't anything before and after. I think that what people struggle with a lot, because I've been there, is there is no proof, you know? If we are in our, let's call it 3D, the reality that we are in, it's really hard to find the proof, because we look around and the world is really in a bad shape, and it seems like everyone is hating everyone else. But I think more than anything that is cultivated, I think if you get quiet and you sit with your own thoughts and you reflect on yourself in this reality that you're in, the only conclusion you can make is that we are part of something way bigger. Maybe it's an illusion, I don't know, but at least for me, that's the conclusion I come to when I do this. So it's pretty interesting that in 1923, it was the same state of mind that Henry was seeing people in as we are today.
He has called himself a worm instead of looking upon himself as a king. He has thought himself to be worthless and insignificant instead of realizing his wonderful interior, powers and the grandeur of his being. Instead of being a worm, man is a king. Potentially all the powers of the infinite mind are his. Instead of being the victim of circumstances, he can control them. Instead of being the puppet of forces outside himself, he has within him the power to be what he will.
Okay, this is also pretty interesting. He says that instead of being a puppet that gets controlled by your circumstances, you can control your circumstances, because it's not so much about your circumstances, because circumstances will happen no matter what. They will happen. But it's how you react to it. If you see yourself as a victim and a bad, so-called bad circumstance happens to you, you will still see yourself as a victim. But if you see the circumstance as just something that happened and realize that you are the one labeling the circumstance as good or bad or whatever you might label it, and then you react to whatever label you put on that circumstance. If we don't do that and go the opposite way, say, okay, a circumstance is here, something happened, but I choose to react to it in a way that helps me move forward or in a positive way. A lot of the books on Honora is talking about that. Now we just call it circumstances, but whatever happens to you in life is a test also. A lot of religions say that it's a test. And if you see it as a test, or you see it as something you have to learn, something you have to go through, it's suddenly not bad anymore. Like losing a job, for example. It's like if you believe that losing that job might provide you with new open doors somewhere else, it's a good thing. But if you see it as, okay, now my world is crumbling down and I don't know how to pay my bills and all that kind of thing, then you become a victim of it. And then the effect of the circumstances that you were in is going to determine the outcome in the future, because it's the way you see it, right? Yeah, let's keep on listening here.
To do what he will, to accomplish all that he desires. Now, at last, the darkness is being pierced, and man realizes that he is a mental creature, and that he is mind as well as matter, that is, as mind is one with the universal or infinite mind. That the difference between him and the infinite or universal mind is not one of kind, but of degree. Like a traveler lost in the bush, who, almost dying, at last finds his way to a permanent spring of water and drinks again, knowing that he can never exhaust the everlasting supply. So does man, after long wanderings, at last realize that within him is a fountain of never-failing power and wisdom, and that his subliminal mind is linked up with and forms a part of the infinite mind of the universe.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting as well, because what he's saying here is we are part of the greater mind, what the Kabbalion calls the all, right? So if we see it as, if you take a drop of water out of the ocean, is it still a part of the ocean? It is. So it will still have the memory of the ocean, or the water comes from the ocean. So you see it will have the same capabilities. It's kind of like the same thing if you see this big, like the universe as one mind or one energy, you are part of that energy, just in a smaller vessel or in a smaller degree of it. So it's like the mind and all these lines going down to every human, but you still are connected to that mind. Yeah.
This is the greatest discovery in the history of the world. This is the crowning revelation of all the ages. This is the blinding knowledge that dwarfs every other knowledge, that within man dwells the infinite and unfathomable mind of the universe. Call how he may on these hidden forces, they can never fail to respond, for they are infinite and inexhaustible. Man stands alone and apart from all other creatures in this visible world around him, in that he has the power to govern his own actions, choose right or wrong, to mold his own fate and create his own life and circumstances. To other creatures, life and the visible world are fixed quantities. To man, life and the world are reflexes of inward mental states.
Okay, so I just heard earlier today that, I can't remember where it was, probably some Show Me thing, but I heard someone say that the only creature and I should say it's not a scientist or anything, it's just a normal person's perspective, but he said that the only creature in the universe that have free will is the humans. So that kind of aligns with what he's saying here, that we are, at least on Earth, we're the only creature that has or have free will to shape the reality that we want to to be in. And that's what I think is because of our mind and our capability to utilize whatever is in our mind. The constant recording of whatever knowledge or wisdom that we receive through our life, we can process that into getting insights about new things and go in a new direction. I don't know if a monkey can, but I have a dog and dogs can't do that. So I think that's what he means here.
Thus, can he make life what he will? Thus, can he live in a world of his own creating? Man alone has the power to realize and recognize the inward power of the infinite, and to consciously bring it into objectivity. The inward powers of the mind are potentially illimitable, but they lie dormant and unexpressed until they are recognized and aroused into action by the individual. This is why the majority of people are so worried and distressed, why they either fail to make life worth living or achieve only partial success, and that with great difficulty. They try to achieve without the power to achieve. They marvel at their own weakness, not realizing that within them lie immeasurable powers which are patiently waiting to find expression.
It's pretty interesting because that's what I realized in my own life, that you're not ready to do before you know. So something have to change in you. And I see a lot of people, when I started, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that, there wasn't as many people online sharing this information that it is today, which is nice because I think everyone that is going out there and putting this information out and spreading it to the world is a part of making the collective more aware of the capabilities that the individual have, combined with the all. But you need to be ready, and you can't force that readiness. In my experience, it comes to you, and it's like when you start to discover your own powers as a human, you can't unlearn it. It's when you have that information and when you have that knowledge and when you begin to implement it actively into your life, you can't unlearn it. So that's pretty amazing too.
Until man calls these powers into activity, they can never act. Within him is that which is connected with the powerhouse of the universe, yet he never feels its power. Within him is infinite wisdom, knowledge, inspiration, creative power, and driving force, yet he slumbers on, unconscious of their existence. But to those who realize their own interior powers, what a mine of inexhaustible treasure do they find, what force and energy for all accomplishment. When you, dear reader, enter into the realization of the mighty power within you, you enter into possession of all good and perfect things. You cease to strive and squabble and snatch with selfish, anxious hand the bread from another's mouth. You leave off striving with palpitating heart and careworn face to push your way in front of the one next to you. Instead, you set your ambitions high and, sustained and carried forward by invisible forces, enter into possession of all that you desire. Work, yes, you will work, for right thinking, and this realization of the power within you is the result of right thinking, is the inspiration of all right action. You will work hard enough, and no one is happy who does not work, but the difference will be that your work will be the greatest joy in your joyful life. Joy. There is no joy like the joy of work well loved and well done, and which leads to accomplishment and victory. Work. Yes, you will work, but not with the feverish haste or with the fear of failure and bankruptcy ever before you. Instead, you will work with confidence and power, sure in the knowledge that your efforts lead definitely to success. When you have realized the inward power, you will feel it pushing you in the back and impelling you forward. You will feel yourself borne along to the goal of your endeavor. Whereas formerly you were chasing success and waiting on it cap in hand, in future you will realize that you are master, that you command and success obeys. You realize that instead of, as in the past, running after fame and fortune, which, like a will-o'-the-wisp, constantly eluded you, you have now the power to attract all desirable things to you. Instead of feverish anxiety and joyless quest, you possess calm confidence and the power to accomplish everything that you desire. There will be no anxiety, no care for the morrow. Instead, the confidence of exact knowledge, the knowledge that the results will be exactly as arranged. Just as today is the result of past thinking, so the future will be the result of what is built today. Therefore, you do certain things today, and you know with mathematical certainty what the future results will be. Like John Burroughs, you can say, "I stay my haste, I make delays. For what avails this anxious pace? I stand amid eternal ways, and what is mine shall know my face." What is mine shall know my face. That is the basis of all success, the confidence, the exact knowledge that what you are sowing now will be reaped 100-fold, that in the future you will enter into occupation of that which you are building now, that what you claim as your own now, out of all the riches of the universal storehouse, will be yours in the future. It is yours now. You enter into possession in the days to come. You will now begin to see why I ask you to use affirmations. In succeeding lessons will be explained what affirmations are, their object and the manner in which they work. In the meantime, make use of the same affirmation that you have been using in the past week, but with something added. It will now read, "The old life is dead and buried. I have severed myself from it once and for all. Henceforth I live the new life of success and power, self-mastery and all accomplishment. This I do, not in the strength of my feeble will and surface mind of my ordinary consciousness, but by the infinite power of my deeper inner mind, which is one with and forms a part of the infinite universal mind." Make the affirmations earnestly. Think of what you are saying. Enter into all that the words mean. Try and feel their power. Do not, however, screw yourself up to a nervous tension. Instead, let yourself relax. First your body with its muscles and nerves, let them all go limp. Then your mind, let that unbend also. Now affirm calmly and confidently as instructed, and then visualize a picture of yourself, radiant, calm, and possessed of a new power. See yourself master of all weaknesses and passions, directing yourself, guiding your life with unerring wisdom, shaping your course to a glorious destiny. Practice and keep on practicing the art of visualizing. Remember that you are dealing with finer matter than that which is discerned by the senses, but it is nonetheless real. In fact, it is far more real. The fact that you can see with your mind's eye that which you have created by your mental processes is proof that what you have created exists. If it did not exist, you could not see it. If, therefore, you create in your mental realm a picture of yourself, radiant, successful, self-disciplined, master of your life and destiny, then you are creating a new you, which in process of time will become objectified in your outward life. In other words, the new you, the radiant being of your mental imagery, will later manifest itself in a new outside, physical you. Whatever is created in the unseen later becomes manifested in the seen. This is an immutable law. By mental imagery, you create in the unseen. Be careful what you create. Whatever it is, good or bad, will find its way into your life and be read and known of all men. Whenever you meet with temptation or difficulty, or if you let yourself get flustered at business, just retire into yourself for a moment and make the affirmation mentally and realize that you are a new creature. You will then become conscious of the inward power. Meditation. 2. Sit very quietly and relax nerves and muscles and concentrate your thoughts upon a conception of an ideal world. Picture a world of indescribable beauty, without pain, sickness, or care, without hate, unkindness, or selfishness, without poverty, want, or any lack. Picture mentally a world in which love and good will reign supreme, where beauty, joy, happiness, plenty, and profusion of all good things are unstinted and for all. Picture a world where there is no limitation, where you can know everything, possess all the wisdom, and where you can be everywhere at the same time. In this world, the colors of the flowers and of the sky are more beautiful and transparent than anything you have seen before. The singing of the birds more ravishing than anything yet heard. The inhabitants are all comely and gloriously healthy and strong. They are all animated by goodwill and indescribably happy. This is the perfect world of mind. Now concentrate upon this image. You will most probably find worry thoughts intruding. Thoughts of the rent, of the mistake one of your clerks has made in your business, of threatened competition, or of some slander or unkind imputation that may have been made against you. Whenever a thought tries to enter your mind, dismiss it at once and concentrate your mind upon your ideal world. This will not be easy, but continue to persevere. It is most important that you should master this, as by so doing you are cultivating one of the most wonderful faculties of your mind. Therefore, keep on dismissing the unwelcome thought by denying it. For instance, you are disturbed by the thought that something grossly unfair has been done to you. It makes your blood boil when you think of it. Immediately this thought comes to you, say at once, "In this perfect world of mind there is no unfairness, injustice or unkindness. All is truth and honor and goodwill." And raise your thoughts above this imperfect material life and concentrate your mental gaze upon your ideal world. Again, a thought may come suggesting that the new competition in your business will ruin you. Immediately deny it by saying, "In this perfect world there is no competition, there is no failure. I am a perfect mental creature gifted with infinite powers, and I am above competition. I am success." Keep your mental vision on your ideal world the whole time, and keep denying all your troubles one by one and affirming their opposites. By your denials, you kill the worry thought, and by affirming its opposite, you build up a character and mental outlook that are superior to worry and incapable of failure. Not only do you kill the thought of evil, you also destroy the evil itself. This may sound fantastic to you, but it is absolutely true. Later on, you will be able to prove the truth of this beyond the shadow of a doubt.
This is the end of Dynamic Thought by Henry Thomas Applin. It was chapter 2, The Infinite Power Within. Personally, it's one of my favorites. I like the whole book, actually, is one of my favorites. I like the way that he talks about our ability to create our own reality and become the person that we want to become based on whatever our preferences is. But I really like that. And remember, you can listen to this book and many other books like this on Honora. You can get the app on App Store or go to honorastudio.com. Read more about what we do, what I do. If you read this book or listened to this book in Honora, you can comment what your thoughts are, especially about this chapter. We will in the future go into different chapters from this book, but right now is chapter 2. So let me know what you think and have a nice day.